has come down, which means naturally what is going to happen, the final price as a consumer, you and me going to pay for this products is going to come down, right? The final price of these products will naturally come down. When prices come down, what will happen? Yes, you should bring the economics flavor here. What does law of demand says? What is the relationship between price and demand? When price increases, demand decreases. When price decreases, demand increases, right? There is an inverse relationship between price and demand. Now, since tax rates have come down, ideally the final price that the consumer is going to pay is also going to come down, which means prices are going down. So what will happen to the demand? What will happen to the demand? Yes, increase in demand. So more consumers will now be capable of buying automobile vehicles. When there is more demand, how this benefits the production side? Now we are seeing from the demand side. Let's look from the supply side. How this is going to benefit the supply side? When there is more demand, as a company, as an automobile company, what I am expected to do? As an automobile company, what am I expected to do? I should meet the market demand, correct? Because as consumers, you are demanding more of my products. Now, when this demand rises, manufacturers naturally, when there is more demand, as a manufacturer, what should I do? I should try to expand my production capacity. Now, how this benefits? When I am going to increase my output, right? When I am going to increase my production output, how that is going to benefit MSMEs? To manufacture any product, what is basically required? What is basically required? Let's take any product, what is needed? Excellent, someone gave. Raw materials, correct? So when I am going to expand my production facility, naturally who is going to benefit? As a company, I am expanding my production capacity. Who is going to benefit? Supplier of raw materials. I am going to increase my output, which means I am also going to, so naturally they also benefit out of this, right? They are also going to get more business, right? This is how it happens. Do you all understand how this mechanism works? Yes? So just a simple example I am taking. Let's take Hero Motor Corporation. Few years back, how was this company called? Few years back, probably 10-15 years back. I really do not know when that joint venture came to an end. Previously, this company was how they were called previously? Hero Honda. Now, Hero is separate, Honda is separate because strategic alliance is over. Now, let's take for an example, if the ex-factory price of Hero Honda vehicles is 80,000, assuming the GST rates to be 28, the final price would come to how much? What is 28% of 80,000? 28% of 80,000, if you add it, almost comes around 1,02,400, which after reduction comes down to how much now? 94,400. So as a consumer, how much you are saving? As a consumer, how much you are saving? Yes, as a consumer, you are saving around 8,000 rupees. What you will do with this 8,000 if you are saving? What will you do? You haven't now, see, if the old rate was prevailing, it was 1,02,400, now it is 94,400, you are almost saving 8,000. As a consumer, what you will do? You have wide range of options. Yes or no? You have a wide range of options before you. Probably you think of, yes, probably you might think of investing it in some shares, right, or in any financial instruments. Or probably you might also go with thinking of your consumption behavior might change, you might tend to spend more, right? So this is how it benefits. So how this mechanism works: higher vehicle sales increases orders for micro, small and medium enterprises that manufacture auto components. So, you know, there are a lot of automobile clusters like Chennai, Coimbatore, Pune, right, Gurugram, right? So they also get benefited. As the demand is more, opportunities are more, they can create lot of employment opportunities. The second sector which I am going to focus is on food and dairy products, right? Here most of the rates have dropped from 12 and 18% to either 5% or nil, right? So dairy products, confectionery, sweets, diabetic health products, beverages, fish, so many policy driven transitions have happened, right? So again, what is the benefit? Reduction on food products lowers the retail price, and as a consumer we enjoy the benefits. So lot of savings, minute savings you have. Even morning sir was discussing about how insurance was waived off from GST. I remember when this GST reform happened, I got a WhatsApp message from ICSSR because I have insurance with ICSSR. So they told henceforth you need not pay any GST. Somewhere around per month I was saving around 300 to 400 rupees per month on my insurance policy. So which means in a year how much you are saving? Almost 5,000 in a year, right? So when it comes to food products also, the lower prices encourages households to purchase more, and that creates lot of opportunities. It increases your consumption, and that creates businesses for companies. What are the other benefits? If you see at the micro level or at the rural level, what is SHG means? What are those self-help groups? Even if you see in Tamil Nadu also, in the past, even now, there are, if you see this women-led self-help groups are very powerful, and they contribute so much in taking various government schemes to the grassroots level. Because our topic is today is going to focus more on sectoral transformations and rural industries. So in the rural part of the country, if you see, women-led self-help groups play a vital role in taking lot of welfare benefits to the grassroots level. So because of the reforms in the GST, reduction in tax rate, they basically benefits women-led self-help groups, right? Their income, market all improvises, right? Lower GST benefits small food processors, dairy products, creating an inclusive food processing ecosystem, right? Any doubts so far with regard to how GST benefits automobile sector and food and dairy products? Any doubts? No doubts? There are only two situations in which there will be no doubts. What are those two situations? When you completely understand everything. Second one is what? When you don't understand anything. So you are all into which category? You should not tell me 1.5. 1.5 means there should be doubt. Right? Okay. Third one, textile, apparels and leather What are the characteristics of these industries? What is that one factor that integrates all these three industries? Textile, apparel and leathers. What is that one factor that integrates? These are all, it is an labor intensive industries, right? If you see textile, apparels, leather and all, right? They are labor intensive industries, and in the recent GST reforms, there were lot of reduction in the GST rates which was given for these industries as well. For example, man-made fibers from 12%, they were reduced to 5%, right? Ready-made garments, right, expanded to 5%, right? Leather products again from 12% to 5%. So one of the major benefits, right, when tax rates come down is, what do they increase? What do they increase? They strengthen the competitiveness of our MSMEs, right? Whenever tax rate come down, it increases our competitiveness of MSMEs. What is mean by competitiveness? When recently US President, right? When recently US President Trump imposed lot of tariffs on India, one of the major concerns raised by our Tirupur industry people were what? It reduces the competitiveness of our products abroad. What is that competitiveness? What is mean by competitive? Many of our Tirupur cotton industry, MSME industries, they raise concern, right? When US imposed lot of import tariffs on us, they told it will bring down the competitiveness of our products, right, in the international markets. How taxes influences the competitiveness? How taxes influence the competitiveness of your product? Yes? Price of the product will come down. At the same time, people also look for what? See, China products, China products are very cheaper. But do we demand Chinese products? What is the rationale behind Chinese products? Chinese products are known for what? Chinese products are known for what? Sorry? Low cost. What about quality? Yes. But can you achieve competitiveness with that? Competitiveness means what? A reasonable or a high quality product offered at a reasonable price, right? Indian products usually enjoy that in the international market, especially our textile products. They enjoy that competitiveness, right? We give the highest quality of our products as exports to other countries at a reasonable price. So when too much of import tariffs is levied, that brought down our competitiveness. And if you see, there is always that close connection. It is after US imposed lot of import tariffs on us, right? We also introduced this next gen GST reforms, right? Even this next gen GST reforms are also seen as a strategic move to combat the US import tariffs on us, right? Businesses were suffering, and that's where they came out with this strategy so that it benefits and increases the competitiveness, right? So there are lot of industries. As I giving example, Tirupur, Tamil Nadu, Ludhiana and Punjab, it's one of the textile manufacturing hub. In Tamil Nadu, Tirupur is good textile manufacturing hub. Gujarat, Surat, known for man-made fiber and synthetic textiles. Kanpur leather clusters, right? So reduction in GST rate naturally benefited multiple industry, and it also, yes, It also benefited, right? It also a way towards attaining self-attainment, right? Self-sustained country, right? Next one, housing. The next sector which I am going to focus is housing and construction materials. What was the previous tax rate for cement? Anybody aware what was the tax rate for cements? Tax rate for cement. Housing, construction materials, and you also have Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana scheme, correct, which is connected with housing and manufacturing. So reduction in tax rate in this sector naturally bring your housing cost also down, and indirectly it supports the housing scheme initiatives by the union government as well as the state governments as well. You know, housing schemes are there at both the levels, both at the union level as well as at the state level. We have these housing schemes. Reduction in those rates drastically brought them down. So marble, most of them were brought down from 12 to 5%, right? What we need to look at the micro level is, whenever we assess the economic policy reforms, we should always look at how that policy or reforms impact at the grassroots level, right? The bottom layer of the economy, right? So reduction in tax rates for housing and construction industries have also supported many other related industries such as bricklinks, granite cutting, marble processing, bamboo based building, right? Many other related industries are also benefiting out of this tax rate cuts, right? Very important, right? Handicrafts and creative industries. GSTs were slashed from 12% to 5% in the next generation. They call it as next gen GST reforms, right? They coined this term next gen GST reform or GST 2.0, whatever it is, right? It has really benefited even handicraft. What are creative industries? What is creative industry? What is a creative industry? What is a creative industry? There is something called CBU. What is SBU? What is SBU? What is SBU? What is SBU? Strategic business units. Likewise, there is something called as creative business units. What are those creative business units? Any idea what are creative business units? Creative business units are those industries which are driven by innovative ideas, right? Which are driven by innovative ideas. For example, we have a professor in Christ University who has invented, right? Who has invented, with the help of bamboo leaves, it's a eco-friendly straw. You know straw, right? When we have cool drinks or any, we use straws, right? We have a professor in Christ who has developed straws based on bamboo leaves, and he got it patented. When I mean patented, not published patent, it was granted a patent, and now his project was funded by United Nations. He is supplying, he is running his own entrepreneurship kind of, he is running his own company. He is also a professor, English professor, right? On the other hand, he is running his own company which is manufacturing this bamboo based straws, and it has been exported to multiple countries, right? creative business units are gaining momentum, right? Is very popular, right? So creative business ideas, innovations, it was patented also, and idea is commercialized also, right? So handicraft, as I told, majority was slashed from 12% to 5%, handicraft, toys and sports products, right? All these benefits at the grassroots level. As I told, creative industries means, right, artisan clusters, vocal for local, right? Some of these places are well known: Jaipur, Rajasthan, Moradabad, Usha, UP, then Channapatna in Karnataka, right? Lot of MSMEs which are working in these areas on traditional craftsmanship, handicrafts have benefited a lot. The next sector that I am going to look upon is logistics, packaging and sustainability. Sustainability today has become one of the important term. All the governments, even many universities, we work towards sustainability. What is meant by sustainability? What is meant by sustainability? Why we are talking about sustainability? And all our ranking mechanisms are also towards what? SDG, Sustainable Development Goals. How many goals are there? 17 goals are there, right? Even many nations, and even India also want to achieve net zero by when? Net zero means what? Zero emissions of what? Do you know some countries have this something called as carbon taxes? What is that carbon tax? What is that carbon tax? Sorry? There is a limit which is given for manufacturing industries on emission of carbon, right? If they exceed beyond that, they will be taxed, right? So logistics industries, packing, paper, cartons, crates were reduced to 5% GST. Biodegradable bags, GST rates were reduced from 18 to 5%, right? So lower cost of packaging and transportation means, what does it mean? Your overall logistics expenses are going to come down. Even one of the reasons in which GST was introduced in the very beginning was also to cut down the logistics costs. I remember reading Financial Times paper when GST came, 2017. Within a week, one of the very first sector in Financial Times which was talking about is logistics sector, which reduced lot of state barriers between transportation of goods between different states, right? So GST benefits a lot, right? Maximum reduction was given here, 5%, almost from 18 to 5%, almost 13% reductions have happened. The last one which I am going to focus is tourism and hospitality. Hotels, tourisms, right? This is one of the sector where there is scope for strengthening, right? There are lot of initiatives. I come from Bangalore, I could see lot of initiatives taken by Karnataka government to improve the Karnataka tourism also. Even one of my scholars research area is working on Karnataka tourism policies, right? So there is lot of scope for improvising the tourism industry, hospitality industry of our country, right? And there were lot of reductions which was introduced here also. So after GST introduction, almost on an average, you can say between 300 to 500 per night you can save with Indian hotels, stay, tourism aspects. So when this has benefited the related industries, travel agencies, local restaurants, taxis, transport operators, handicraft sellers, tour guides. Whenever you assess any economic policy reforms, you should also connect the benefits to the related industry at the grassroots level. When a reduction is given for an hotel, it's not only the hotel which is going to get benefited, but also the related industries connected with it. All right. So this is, to summarize, this is the GST reforms which has happened sector wise, whatever sectors I have covered. So towards Viksit Bharat, all the initiatives taken by the union government is always towards what is the central core of discussion to achieve Viksit Bharat. And GST 2.0, as I told, you should not see them as an isolated tax policy reform. It should also be looked and analyzed from other connected measures which the government is taking, as I told you earlier, Make in India, PM Gati Shakti, Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, Vocal for Local schemes. So thank you so much for your patience listening, and I thank once again G.T.N Arts and Science College Management and Ravi sir for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your valuable insights. Digital transformation simplifies systems and empowers people.
I extend my heartfelt gratitude to our speaker, Dr. Gowtham R. Sir. Your expertise in sectoral transformation under GST has been a masterclass in clarity. In particular, your deep dive to how GST impacts means rural industries and the service sector has provided us with a roadmap of understanding the evolving economics landscape of India. Your ability to connect the intricacies of tax policies with the practicalities of industry and technology integration was truly remarkable. Thank you for insightful and fruitful session, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir. It's my great pleasure to introduce our esteemed resource person for today, Dr. Kappa Kondal, sir. Dr. Kappa Kondal, Assistant Professor of Economics, Central University of Tamil Nadu, is an accomplished academician research specialization in development economics and agricultural economics. He currently serves as an assistant professor in the Department of Economics, Osmania University, Hyderabad. With over 9 years of teaching experience, Dr. Kappa Kondal has made significant contributions to research with 46 published papers, 4 authorized books, and numerous presentations at national and international conferences. His work on rural and agricultural economic issues has earned him several recognitions, including the Best Paper Award and Pradeepa Puskaram from the Government of Andhra Pradesh. Congrats, sir. Please welcome, sir. May I now request him to kindly deliver the address. Thank you,
sir. Respected President of the session, Principal Sir, Dr. Sravanan Sir, and respected R. Ravichandran Sir, Seminar Director, and Dr. K. Rethinam Sir, Dr. Venkatasubramanian Sir, Dr. R. Durai, and Kalaichelvan, and other dignitaries of the dais, respected faculty members, scholars, and students. Very good afternoon to all. As most of the resource persons from the morning onwards, they covered most of the topics. However, I'm going to cover the other aspects which is not covered by the other resource persons. So today my role is that to talk about the digital GST system, which is how the GST is contributing economically, that ecosystem, and how the GST is simplifying the complaints, and how the GST is driving the sustainable development. Yeah, please just you can give the 15 to 20 minutes concentration, then I will finish as soon as possible. This is my outline of the presentation. That first I would like to concentrate introduction. So most of the introduction topics were covered by the earlier presenters. The second one is that the GST, digital GST ecosystem. The third one is that the GST complaints and what are the factors are affecting the GST complaints. Thereafter that the sustainable and digital integrated ecosystem. And the fifth one, that the impact of digital GST on tax administration and MSME. And in the last, Gowtham Sir has concentrated on MSME also. And I need to specify that what are the factors are affecting or what are the determinants of farm debt ratio. For example, when we are going to talk about economic aspect and commerce aspect, management perspective, so we need to talk about the debt ratio of the farms, because this GST is more related to the MSME. So therefore, I would like to concentrate that what are the factors are influencing the farms debt ratios in the long run as well as short run. Then seventh one, that the GST and sustainable development. As I mentioned that how the GST is contributing towards to the sustainable development of the India as well as the world. And the last part is a conclusion. So as you know that GST is indirect tax. So there are some key objectives of the GST. The first one is that the simplifying the indirect taxes. As you know that in the morning our guest of honor spoken on the GST, how the indirect tax has been changed over a period of time. That is a replacement of complex or more number of taxes and cess by the state government as well as central government. And almost earlier there were 17 taxes were there and 23 cesses by the state government, different state government which is having a different classifications and taxes, and the central government. This is stated by the CBIC, that is called Central Board of Indirect Tax Commission in 2018, and Niti Aayog. And other paper, the Suresh also mentioned the same thing. And the second key objective of GST is that eliminate cascading taxes, that is called remove the tax and taxes. But here, as I told that all the taxes are removed and they replaced with one GST. But when it comes to that, I agree with the some earlier, some Dr. Rethinam sir, I think, he is from Madura College. I'm sorry, I cannot able to pronounce the name. Yeah. And he told that we can remove the taxes on income. I can say that we could, as per my personal opinion, that the tax cannot be removed from the income tax. So here we should make that difference between the salarized employees as well as business income tax. See, for example, being as an employee, I am also getting income. I should have to pay the tax, direct taxes. Thereafter, I should have to pay the indirect taxes also. For example, if I earning 1 lakh, I supposed to pay almost certain tax, 30%, 20% based on my level of income. Thereafter, if I want to buy any other commodities, thereafter also I should have to pay the GST also. So for example here, if you go through that one parliament MP was there, is Rajiv Chadha. If you go through that, his statements is very good in terms of that how the government is imposing the taxes on the human beings, especially the salaried employees. For example, when it comes to the company who is earning the money and they're supposed to pay the tax, that is somewhat we can acceptable. And here, that removed tax and taxes, earlier if you take into account before GST, almost all 25% of tax we supposed to pay. Now after post GST, almost all it reduced to 18%. This is stated by the Costa in 2021 paper and Suresh. And the third objective is that improve the tax complaints and submission. When it comes to the previous before GST, most of the people did not complain the GSTs. When the government has introduced the GST, it is mandatory to them. Most of the MSMEs and other sectors, they're supposed to be submit their tax. And that another objective is that GST, that to promote economic efficiency. When it comes to that efficiency, there are three categories are there in efficiency. That is called allocative efficiency, technical efficiency, and economic efficiency. The economic efficiency is a combination of, or we can say product of technical efficiency and as well as allocative efficiency. Then only we are going to reach the economic efficiency. So here the main objective of the GST is that to promote economic efficiency after reaching that allocative efficiency as well as the technical efficiency. So as I mentioned that there are different concepts are there. There are different parameters which are going to influence the different efficiencies, technical efficiency, allocative efficiency, and economic efficiency. And I could say that one word that since most of the people concentrated on the GST, I can say that one word that the GST is a complexity to clarity. Earlier there are so many taxes were there. Most of the people, we could not able to understand that how many taxes were imposed by the government or state, either central government. But now we have certain clarity that how much tax we are paying at a time. And this I wanted to, sorry, yeah. Most of the people are concentrated when it was established, when it was started, and one nation, one tax. And I could say that there are certain challenges are there. I can say that like in our probability in statistics, we have the probability concept. For example, when you are going to toss a coin, that we can get an equal probability to get head and tail. Similarly, whenever the government is going to introduce any policy which is having advantages and disadvantages, but here we can make it that to get more advantages, less disadvantages. But there should not be a 50% probability is there to get advantage or disadvantages. We could try to make it that 90% advantages in initial days, we can make it 10% disadvantages. So I can say that we can convert the disadvantage into advantages. Then only we are going to succeed that in terms of any policy implementations. And I can say that there are some differences are there before GST and after GST. That I mentioned that earlier there is a multiple tax was there. Now it is only unified tax was there. And earlier there is a complex tax system structure. Now there is a unified tax structure. And earlier there is a complaints burden. It means that some people, they could not able to submit their tax, nothing but they could not able to fill the tax, and they could not able to generate or they could not able to submit their tax filings. And once the GST has been improved, most of the taxpayers, the number of taxpayers has been increased drastically from 2017 onwards. And I can say that because of technology, if there was no technology in 2017, same number of taxpayers has been continuing over a period of time. I can say that the technology as a engine of transformation, otherwise we could not able to get more number of taxpayers, and otherwise we could not able to get more income through the tax. And how the technology has the engine of transformation. I can say that first one is a digital first design. See, as you know that earlier there was no digital transformation in the form of tax. Once they are going to introduce the GST, there was a digital design was there, and that is called GST architecture as a technology-driven reform from ground up to leveraging online platforms for seamless operations. And second one is the core digital tools. There are a number of digital tools were there to pay the income tax, that is called integrated online registration, e-filing, and returns, electronic invoices are there, and digital way bills also there, how much we are paying also, the companies they could be able to see. And that another advantage that we can say the emerging technologies. Nowadays, most of the technology has been developed. We can say that artificial intelligence, machine learning, blockchain, and advanced data analytics deployed for the fraud detection. Nowadays, we can say that some people are giving the bills, but they are going to caught it by the government officials, and that is one of the advantage for the GST. We cannot able to escape easily. However, due to some technology, some people are escaping. So there is some lacuna also there. And earlier speaker has concentrated that GST 2.0, that is a new era of simplifying that digitalization. Earlier we are having 1.0 and 2025 we are having 2.0. So all the things are being mentioned in earlier speakers. I think no need to concentrate. But I can concentrate. These first things are yeah. So that there is some strategic goals over there when they are going to introduce that 2.0. That fewer misclassification of risk. For example, that assistant commissioner as well as other speakers I told that earlier we are having certain slabs over there 0, 5, 12, 18 and rest of this. In 2.0 they removed the 12% GST. It means that those who have been those who are going to pay 12% tax, now they're supposed to pay up to 18%. Here there is some misclassification is there compared with that GST 1.0 to 2.0. So therefore we can say that there is a misclassification of risk and which can be enhance the pricing predictability and greater transparency across all the business. Sometimes when we are been implementing that 2.0 by the government and the income tax departments, there is a higher transparency is there across all the business segments. And how the powering India's digital business landscape, that compliance and enablers. So by using that 2.0, which is a very transformative regulatory burden into the competitive advantage for startups as well as emerging businesses. Sir just now spoken about the startups and the cost of reduction. Earlier when they are going to file that income tax, most of the tax consultants used to take more money, and nowadays by using that digital, so those who are having good awareness about that, how they are going to file that income tax, how they are going to claim all those things, it is very easy, and themselves they are going to do it at free of cost. If somebody do not have that much of awareness, with the help of others they can pay less amount compared with the previous days, and now that cost has been reduced, that is called cost reduction. And resource reallocations. It means that earlier the businesses redirect saves resources towards the innovations, product development and customer acquisition strategies. It means that instead of spending more amount for the tax consultants, now the amount whatever they are going to spend for the research consultants, they are diversifying that amount towards to the innovations in their companies and their product development and the customer acquisition strategies, how they are going to attract the customers. And we need to understand the concept of digital GST ecosystem, how that is GST can contribute to the ecosystem. So as I mentioned that when they are going to file the GST tax through online, so we are going to no need to take that any print. Nowadays all the people are taking only online, that is called online tax registration. So they indirectly it contributes to the ecosystem, and digital returning file also there, then electronic invoice. So no need to take all the prints, and e-way bill system and real-time tax data analytics. So it is very good when we are discussing with IRS officer, he told that there is each and every department which is having certain targets to collect the money, whether directly or indirectly. So therefore they are going to analyze each and every day how much tax has been collected monthly, quarterly, half-yearly. So because they have certain targets to collect that money, otherwise the government cannot run it. So otherwise they cannot contribute in the form of financial assistance to all the different programs. Therefore I could say that here that ecosystem is powered by the goods and services tax network. So each and everything we can use that GST portal, that is called G.T.N portal. And this is an architecture of GST digital system. As I mentioned that electronic invoice system is there, e-way bills portal is there, returning file system also there, payment gateway also there, then data analytics platform also there. These platforms can connect the taxpayers, banks and government authorities. See this, sorry. So here if you are going to understand this circle, it means that it is a platform to connect the three categories of the people, that we can say the taxpayers and the banks and the government authorities. So this banks plays a very important role in collecting the taxes, and the taxpayers and government authorities, they can come to know that each other. And what are the key digital tools in the GST? As I mentioned, that these are the digital tools, and these tools can reduce that manual paperwork and the tax fraud. This is the main important. So you can say that sometimes you may think that how much we can spend for the paper. So here we are going to reduce the tax fraud. Earlier there was a more tax frauds were there. If you are going to read the literature, most of the people are avoid to pay the taxes. Once the GST has been implemented and each and everyone has been observed by the certain government authorities, therefore most of the people are paying the taxes. So it is not easy job to escape from the tax. So this is one of the key tool in GST, and the administrative delays. And at the same time, earlier when we are paying the taxes through offline mode, so there was system is there that higher hierarchy also there in that administrative system. There was a more delays, so we could not able to know that whether the file has been processed or not. Nowadays it is easy job to check where the file is there, where the file is pending. So there is a certain conditions also given by the government of India as well as different states to move the files easily within the short period of time. That is, they are going to make certain deadline. It will differ from state to state and central government. And you can understand that in the morning that our keynote speaker and as well as our sir has mentioned that interstate tax. So this is a very easy to understand that electronic way bill system. That system tracks the movement of goods across the states. For example, if the goods are produced in one state, if there is a demand in Kerala, if we are going to supply from Tamil Nadu to Kerala, so easily they can track it. How much goods has been moving from Tamil Nadu to Kerala, how much they are paying the taxes. So easily they can track that all those things. Here this e-way bill main purpose is that the prevent the tax evasions, monitor the supply chain, how much the supply of goods and services has been exchanging across the states and state border. And at the same time, we could able to know that transparency, whether how much transparency is there in the logistic. And when we are going to follow that e-way bills, so what kind of benefits we are going to get it, that the faster goods movement. Earlier, if you remember that, I think students, you might not be noticed by other senior faculty members and scholars, they might have noticed that when somebody is standing on the road, most of the trucks used to stand away from that place, almost 1 or 2 kilometers, because to avoid the taxes, the interstate taxes. So they could not able to move the goods and goods within a short period of time. So sometimes they could wait for the 1 day also. Once the tax officers will move from that particular place and the goods will be moved to certain places. So here when we are using this e-way bill system, so we can move that goods faster, and it can be verified digitally. Otherwise sometimes we need to go and show our documents to the concerned officers to give the what can kind of say that clarity, or we can say that there is no objection like that. I think somewhat they can use it. So when we are going to file that digital e-way bills, so it is easy for them, each and every officers, to check it. Let's say that just you can take an example. Earlier most of the travelers, those who go by trains, we used to take the tickets. Nowadays we are using only mobiles apps to get the tickets. So it is easy for that what you can say that TC and as well as the travelers. Like that this is a very good for the system as well as the suppliers as well as the receiver of the products. And e-invoice system, there are certain features are there. We can say that when we are going to get the e-invoice system, which is a more important in digital platforms, here we can say that the real-time invoice authentication and automated tax reporting and the integration with GST returns. These are the benefits that we can reduce the tax evasions and improve the data accuracy. For that, when you are going to submit your documents through online, so it will improve the data accuracy and enhance the compliance monitoring. So each and every officer, they used to verify that each and every locations, like in Dindigul, the assistant commissioner has come. So he used to verify that how many people has paid the taxes, indirect taxes, direct taxes. So they will easily enhance the compliance of monitoring. And here that how the GST is compliant, that I think this is not required, because this topic has been covered by the earlier speakers. And this is the main important that and here we need to understand especially that what are the factors are influencing the GST compliance, nothing but submission of the GST. The first one is that digital literacy of the taxpayers. For example, if you are going to think about our India, the literacy rate is on an average 70. If you are going to take about example from that Kerala, which is having highest literacy rate, but some states which is having less literacy rate, and within that state also we need to think about the taxpayers, how much literacy rate is there among the taxpayers. So those who are having more literacy rate among the taxpayers, there is a high chances are there to pay the income tax, the direct and indirect taxes. And second one is the complexity of the tax rules. For example, when they are going to introduce any tax system, if there is any complexities there, most of the people, they could not able to understand that how much tax we need to pay it. When there is as I told that in the second slide, I think the GST is a complex to clarity. So when there is a clarity is there, then most of the taxpayer try to pay the taxes in time. The third one is the cost of complaints. For example, sometimes the cost of complaints is very high. Most of the taxpayers will avoid the taxes. The tax is very less and they try to pay the GSTs. And another one, the fourth one, the awareness of GST rules. Sometimes we are having good literacy rate and we do not have awareness about the particular taxes. So therefore, if we do not have any awareness, we could not able to pay the taxes. Then at the same time, we need to know the provisions. For example, certain categories, we need to get certain benefits as a taxpayers. So when we know the certain benefits are there, then only we are ready to pay the taxes. Then return filing behavior. So how the authorities are behaving with the concerned taxpayers, especially with respect to that industries as well as MSMEs especially. And at the same time, the need for the external consultancy services. For example, when there is no consultant services about the GSTs, when there is a complexity is there, so most of the people, they will avoid the tax. This is also one of the factor which is going to influence the GST. Then fifth one, trust in government institutions. Sometimes we can say that as a common human being, as a layman, we can say that we do not have any trust in the government. So most of the people will avoid the taxes. Who is going to catch us? If you have the trust, you can pay it. If you do not have trust, most of the people are avoiding the taxes. But if they want to catch it, they will catch it. So it depends on the what we can say that nowadays, that's why they are going to monitor through online only. So easily nowadays they are going to catch the persons who is avoiding the taxes. So the trust is a very important factor, is a psychological factor in the government institutions. These are the major factors which are going to influence the GST complaints. Then third, next one is then how we are going to enhance the investor confidence and economic stability. So this is the policy perspective that it depends on the policy maturity signals, how the government is giving the signals to the taxpayers as well as the industries. And second one, reduce uncertainty. The government should have to reduce uncertainty and fiscal strengthening. The government should have to think about the fiscal aspect of the economy. And earlier when they are going to introduce the GST, there most of the lot of social media was there, and they used to playing that field in the digital economy, how they are going to complain that GST, nothing but how they are going to submit the GST without having proper knowledge. So there are a lot of things were there that addressing the small business disadvantages. Earlier, in the initial stage of 2017, most of the small scale sector, or we can say business sectors, had disadvantages in terms of claiming the GST in the 1.0. And this is how the sustainable and digitally integrated ecosystem. When we are having that robust administration, nothing but in terms of collecting the taxes, the administration should be properly administrated. If they were going to do any fault, it indicates that somebody could not able to pay the taxes also. Sometimes they are going to give relaxation to the certain companies to avoid the taxes. But here, some common human beings are paying the taxes. In terms of subsidies also like that in the Indian government. So I could not able to speak right now. And development foundations, the digital tax ecosystem serves as a cornerstone of the for Indian sustainable development goals as well as economic vision. And this is the persistence of complaint challenges. As we mentioned that there are certain technical issues also there. As I mentioned that GST is there, GST portal is there, we can easily pay the taxes. But however, there is a certain challenges are there. We can say the system downtime, it will not work properly. And sometimes the slow process, the speed also very less. And we need to upload different documents, we need to get different type of OTPs. It is very difficult to complete the task of submission of all the GST complaints. And there will be certain technical glitches also will be there while submitting the GST. And at the same time, we need our digital skills. There is some digital skill gap also there in India as well as other states, especially when compared with that small scale business sector as well as medium scale some extent. And there is some high complaints cost, nothing but high submission of cost, because as I told that when we do not have any awareness about the provisions and certain kind of we can say that discounts, and we do not able to understand the complexity of the GST, most of the people are going to consult or adopt a consultant, tax consultant. They used to charge more money to avoid certain kind of tax burden of the companies. So therefore, it leads to the high cost of complaints. And at the same time, there is a frequent policy changes. As you notice that 1.0 to 2.0, Sarah has clearly mentioned that they were realized after 9 years, if I am correct. So it is a good point. So from when they are introduced the policy, most of the economists as well as other prominent policy makers has concentrated that it is not good for the small scale business as well as a common person in India. They could not able to pay this much of tax, indirect taxes. It is a very burden on them. So therefore, you should to make it simple. So you can imagine that Sarah also concentrated in the morning that during the 9 years, how much money they might have collected from the common person. It is a very big amount. You may think that we paid only less amount, but it might be the crores, not in the crores, the lakhs of crores only. So there is a certain policies are there. The policy would have to be flexible for each and everyone. Then only, because in India we are having the heterogeneous group, heterogeneous class also there. So we are only we can say that only 2% of the people are earning more money, rest of the people are getting less income. So that is the one criteria that it is more flexible to the 2% of the categories, not rest of the categories. So always we should to make it certain policies which can be flexible to the major population, we can say major population in India. These are the simplification of the reforms. And this how the GST impact of digital GST and tax administration. As I mentioned that it is improve the transparency and reducing the corruption. As I told that nowadays we cannot able to overcome from the fraud, and increase the tax efficiency and enhance the transaction of monitoring. Nothing but most of the authorities are monitoring that all the transactions. And this is the GST and economic formulation. This has been covered by all the speakers. And this is a very important note that we can understand the main slides of what are the factors are influencing, and this is the how the GST is influenced on, or we can say that impact of GST on SMEs, that is called small small and medium enterprises. If you are going to look at that, as I told you that each and every sector is a contribute to some extent to the Indian GDP. But when it comes to the MSME, yes, please. Yeah, please. On that will go. Thank you. The MSME are the backbone of Indian economy in terms of contribute to the approximately 30% GDP to the India. At the same time, 48% towards to the total exports, and implying that more number of, there is a 120 millions in India. So this data is taken from the Ministry of MSME. And the disadvantage also there, the impact of GST on MSME, that the World Bank was highlighted that the Indian GST is one of the most complex globally due to the multiple tax slabs. If you think that in the previous speaker, that is associate professor from Madura College, I think, if I'm right, he told that he concentrated other countries, how much they have been paying to their government. Tax rates were different, slabs were different compared with our India. So the World Bank also highlighted that the Indian GST as one of the most complex globally due to its multiple tax slabs. So earlier, most of the speakers has concentrated that there was a 5 slabs are there. Then later it has been changed. Then at the same time, India they have been changing that rules. Nothing but GST 1.0 to 2.0, and the creating uncertainty among the all small enterprises. This was taken from the Suresh S. And third point, that there was a strong positive correlation between IT challenges and compliance cost. And when it comes to that MSME, there is a IT industries has been facing certain challenges. Along with that, their GST compliance cost. Due to the software, so they used to pay certain amount to the concerned software fees to the government as well as consultant fees. So therefore, there is some positive link will be there between these two variables, that is called IT challenges and as well as complaints of cost. And one more paper, the Chennai post-MIT in 2025, they said that there was a moderate effect of several sustainability cost. And as I told that GST is a positive impact on the economy, but this paper, they told that there was a only moderate effect on sustainability cost, and which is related to sustainable development. The next point, that increase in tax compliance cost strengthen the accountability. Here one more paper, they told that if you are keeping on increase that tax compliance cost, it will strengthen the accountability. So accountability for the company or accountability for the administration. If you are going to think about the tax compliance cost, it will be burden on the companies, but it will be accountability for the administrators. And the profitability also there, then sales growth, I think SAR also concentrate the sales growth and the liquidity of the company, and it reduce the business risk. So most of the companies, they used to pay the taxes to avoid the risk. So this I have taken from the Pobit and Sanjit et al. 2019 paper. And along with these variables, there are other variables also there which are going to influence the GDP. The other variables which are going to influence the debt ratio in the long term as well as short term. And this I have taken from the paper that Saik Mitra, which who is from, it was published in IAM, Kolkata paper, Kolkata journal. So they have taken the variables that long-term debt ratio and short-term debt ratio is a function of this cost compliance, profitability, accountability, sales growth rate. Along with this, there are other variables they have taken, that the tax compliance, logistic cost, and digitalization of the cost. And they have taken another dummy variable, that before GST and after GST. So they use that, there is a, in panel regression, they use the dynamic panel regression using that Harnella-Bond model. And the results that the before GST, the probability generally encouraged long-term borrowing. But what was happened after GST, it started discouraging the long-term debt ratio. LTDR means there is a long-term debt ratio. Actually, this GST is supposed to be encouraged in the long run, but as a result, it shows that it is started discouraging the long-term debt ratios. When it comes to the liquidity variable, it also reduces that long-term debt ratio, whereas the cash flow with the companies supporting the higher debt ratio in the both long-term as well as short-term. And the sales growth rate is increasing the long-term debt ratio after GST. It means that there is a positive impact of GST in the case of sales growth of the SMMEs. And there is another variable that is called business risk, and which is turned as from positive to negative after GST. Actually, as I mentioned that there should be some positive impact, nothing but the risk should be reduced after GST. But here, as per this model results, the business risk is turned from the positive to negative. It means that there is a negative impact after the GST. And another variable, that cash flow reduce that short-term debt ratio, and as stronger cash flow reduce need for the short-term borrowing. Actually, this cash flow should have to be reduced for the short-term borrowing, especially in terms of for the SMMEs. And this tax compliance cost gradually reduce that post GST, and comes to the logistic cost is one of the good variable in the model. The GST enhances the logistic efficiency and cost management. It reduces the dependence on external financing. For example, in order to spend lot of amount on logistic cost, this GST has enhanced that logistic efficiency because of interstate, and the cost management is perfectly managing properly, and it is reducing as well as it will reduce the dependency on the external financing to the companies. Another dummy variable, that is digitalization of cost, depicts the mixed effect, the before and after, nothing but there are two things are there, positive and negative, which implies that digital investment continue to the impact capital structure, but still remains large unaffected by the implementation of GST. However, it is a subjective matter. So some taxpayers are accepting the digitalization of the cost. Some people are not able to accept it. So because of time, I could not able to concentrate this one. And I could say that the last slide, GST and sustainable development, how the GST is contributes to the sustainable development. The first one is a transparent economic system. The second one, increase the public investment. So when the people have trust in the government institutions, they will able to pay the taxes. The government is to spend certain amount on the public sector. So it leads to the increase the public investment. Otherwise, we are going to depend on the FDIs or FIIs. And third one, the better physical governance. As I mentioned that the government physical governance should be improved. Then fourth one, the efficient tax collection. The government should have to collect efficiently from each and everyone. They should not give that we can say concession to the certain category, especially we can say that business category. So here what I would like to say that enhance the transparency, a better utilization of input tax credits, adoption of ERP system by the small medium enterprises, not only aid regulatory complaints but also promoted sustainable governance. So this statement is given by the PIB, Government of India, in 2025. Thank you very much for patiently listening lecture, and I extend my sincere thanks to the organizer of this event, Dr. Ravichandran sir, for giving space to share my views with all the eminent faculty members, scholars and students. Thank you very much. And if anyone is interested in statistics and econometrics, so there is my YouTube channel is there, just you can go through that. YouTube channel is Smith KS Academy, Smith KS Academy. So just you can go through it. If you like the videos, you can go through it. You can subscribe if you like it. Okay. Thank you very much for your patience. Thank you.
I extend my heartfelt gratitude to our chief guest, Dr. Kappa Kondal sir. Sir, your presentation on digital GST ecosystem was truly eye-opening. In an era where technology moves faster than we can click, your insights into simplifications have made a complex subject feel much more approachable for us. Furthermore, please keep quiet, dear students. Furthermore, linking these digital strides to sustainable development showed us that the future of finance is not just about numbers, it is about building a responsible and efficient world. Thank you for sharing the expertise and for your commitment to knowledge dissemination. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your wonderful session. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
So dear students, do you have any doubt to clarify with the resource person? So we had 2 sessions. You have any clarification, you can ask. So now we comes to an end of the session.
Students, keep quiet for a while because we are having resource person with us as well as the recording is going on. So please keep quiet for a while. We will have a valedictory function. We are waiting for the guests for valedictory function. So please keep quiet for a while.
as every meaningful journey deserves reflection. We now move to the valedictory section. May I invite Dr. D. Sriveni Devi to introduce the valedictory section resource person.
Good evening to present and all here. It's my great pleasure to introduce our esteemed chief guest, resource person for today, CMA D. Kalaichelvan sir. CMA D. Kalaichelvan sir is a qualified cost and management accountant and currently serves as a chairman of Dindigul chapter of the Institute of Cost Account of India, a prestigious professional body established by the Government of India. He is also a practicing cost and management accountant actively involved in professional service such as cost audit, GST audit, internal audit, stock audit, and income tax consultancy. He has conducted stock audit for major banks including State Bank of India, Indian Bank, Indian Overseas Bank, and UCA Bank, and has also carried out auditing assignment for well-known companies such as ITC. In addition, he is a partner in the audit firm S. Kumararajan and Associates, providing financial and consultancy service across several districts in Tamil Nadu. With his extensive experience in cost management, taxation, and auditing, he has been guiding business and professional in financial management and compliance. We are truly honored to have such an experienced professional with us today. On behalf of our institution, on behalf of our G.T.N family members, on behalf of our organizing members, I extend a warm welcome to CMA D. Kalaichelvan sir, and we look forward to an insightful and enriching session. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Now I hand over the session to Kalaichelvan sir. Please welcome, sir.
Respected Secretary of the College and the Director of the College and the Principal, Vice Principal, Academic Director, at other Department of Economics, other Professor, my dear student, good evening. Small introduction என்னை பற்றி சொல்லிக்கிறேன். CMA Kalaichelvan, Auditor and Chairman, Institute of Cost Accountant India, Dindigul chapter. Cost and Management Accountant ஒரு சென்ட்ரல் கவர்மெண்ட்டுடைய இன்ஸ்டியூட். CMA கோர்ஸ் அப்படிங்கிற ஒரு கோர்ஸ் ரன் ஆகிட்டு இருக்குது திண்டுக்கல்ல. அந்த சாப்டருக்கு நான் சேர்மனாக இருக்கேன். அந்த இன்ஸ்டியூட்டுடைய எக்ஸாம் சென்டரே G.T.N தான் இருக்குது. G.T.N தான் எக்ஸாம் சென்டரே நடந்துகிட்ருக்கு. ப்ராக்டிஸ் எல்லா ஏரியாலும் பண்ணிகிட்ருக்கேன். இன்கம் டேக்ஸ், GST, இன்டர்னல் ஆடிட்டு, பேங்க் ஆடிட்டு, ஸ்டாக் ஆடிட்டு, எல்லா ஆடிட்டும் பண்ணுறேன். 5 கவர்மெண்ட் பேங்க் ஆடிட்டராக இருக்கேன். 5 கவர்மெண்ட் பேங்க்கு, அதுலேயும் நம்பர் 1, நம்பர் 2, நம்பர் 3 பேங்க் நான் ஆடிட்டர். SBI, PNP, IOP, இந்த மாதிரி நம்பர் 1, நம்பர் 2 பேங்க் ஆடிட்டராக இருக்கேன். இதுதான் என்னுடைய ஸ்மால் இன்ட்ரோடக்ஷன். இன்றைக்கி வந்து GST ஒரு நேஷ்னல் செமினார்னு சொல்லி உங்கள் எக்கனாமிக்ஸ் ஹெச்ஓடி ரவி சார், ரவியில் அண்ணன் பிரதர் அவர் சொல்லவும் இந்த ஒரு இதுக்காக வந்து இந்த ஃபங்க்ஷனுக்கு வந்திருக்கேன். என்னை இன்வைட் பண்ண காலேஜுடைய மேனேஜ்மெண்ட்டு, டிபார்ட்மெண்ட் எல்லாத்துக்குமே ஒரு நன்றியை சொல்லிக்கிறேன். ஜிஎஸ்டியை பற்றி நான் ப்ராக்டிஸ் பண்ணுறேன். எத்தனை வருஷம் ஜிஎஸ்டி ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணலேருந்து ப்ராக்டிஸ் பண்ணுறேன். அதாவது ஜிஎஸ்டினா இன்றைக்கி இல்லை, ஜிஎஸ்டியில் கமிஷனர், அசிஸ்டன்ட் கமிஷனர், டெப்டி கமிஷனர், ஜாயின்ட் கமிஷனர் எனக்கு ஸ்டூடெண்ட்டு. கமிஷனர்னால் IRS முடிச்சிருக்கணும், கமிஷனர் வரைக்கும் எனக்கு ஸ்டூடெண்ட்டு. கீழே இருக்கிற லாஸ்ட் சூப்பரண்ட் வரைக்கும் எனக்கு ஸ்டூடெண்ட் இருக்காங்க. ஜிஎஸ்டி நிறைய டிபார்ட்மெண்ட்டு கிளாஸ் எடுத்திருக்கேன். ஜிஎஸ்டியை பற்றி ப்ராக்டிஸும் பண்ணிருக்கேன், டீச் பண்ணியிருக்கேன். ஜிஎஸ்டிங்கிறது ஒரு டாக்ஸேஸில் ஒரு பிக் ரிஃபார்ம்ஸ் இந்தியாவில். இந்தியா வந்து பிஃபோர் ஜிஎஸ்டி, ஆஃப்டர் ஜிஎஸ்டின்னு பிரிச்சுக்கிட்டிங்கன்னா, இந்தியா பிஃபோர் ஜிஎஸ்டி அப்படி பார்த்தீங்கன்னா வேர்ல்டு எக்கனாமியில் 10, அதாவது 10வது இடத்துக்கு மேலே இருந்துச்சு, 10க்குள்ளே விட இல்லை. ஆஃப்டர் ஜிஎஸ்டி வந்தவருக்கு தான் இந்தியனுடைய எக்கனாமி எங்கே வந்துருச்சு, உங்களுக்கு 4th பிளேஸ்க்கு வந்துருச்சு. ஜிஎஸ்டி தான் மெயின் எக்கனாமிக் டெவலப்மெண்ட்டுக்கு மெயின் ரோல். இன்கம் டேக்ஸ் இல்லை, நல்லா தெரிஞ்சுக்குங்க. இப்போ டாக்ஸஸ் ரெண்டாக பிரிச்சுக்கலாம், டைரக்ட் டேக்ஸ் இன்டைரக்ட் டேக்ஸ்னு பிரிச்சுக்கலாம். முன்னாடி டைரக்ட் டேக்ஸ்லாம் நிறைய இருந்துச்சு. இப்போ ஜிஎஸ்டி வந்தவருக்கு டைரக்ட் டேக்ஸ்னால் இன்கம் டேக்ஸ் ஒன்று தான் இருக்குது. இன்டைரக்ட் டேக்ஸ்னால் 2 டேக்ஸ் இருக்குது, ஜிஎஸ்டி அண்டு கஸ்டம்ஸ். அப்போ பிஃபோர் ஜிஎஸ்டிக்கும் ஆஃப்டர் ஜிஎஸ்டிக்கும் எவ்வளோ டிஃப்ரென்ஸ்னு பார்த்தீங்கன்னா, இந்தியாவுடைய எக்கனாமி பொருளாதாரம் நிறைய வளர்ந்துருச்சு. எப்படி இந்தியாவுடைய எக்கனாமி வளர்ந்துச்சுங்கிற ஒரு சாம்பிள் சொல்லுவோம். மந்த்லி ஜிஎஸ்டி இன்கம் இப்போ லேட்டஸ்ட்டாக படி எவ்வளோ இருக்குது அப்படிங்கிறது பார்த்தீங்கன்னா, ஆவரேஜாக மந்த்லி ஜிஎஸ்டியுடைய டோட்டல் டேர்ன் ஓவர்னு சொல்லுவோம், டோட்டல் ரெவன்யூ அப்படின்னு இந்தியாவில் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா 2 lakhs crore. மந்த்லி ஜிஎஸ்டியுடைய இன்கம் எவ்வளோ இருக்குது? 2 lakhs crore இருக்குது. அப்போ இயர்லி எவ்வளவு? 24 lakhs crore வந்து ஜிஎஸ்டி இன்கம். இன்னைக்கு போத் சென்ட்ரல் கவர்மெண்ட் ஸ்டேட் கவர்மெண்ட்டுடைய கவர்மெண்ட் கிடைக்கிற இன்கம் வந்து 24 lakhs கிடைக்குது. பிஃபோர் ஜிஎஸ்டி 2017 பிஃபோர் ஜிஎஸ்டி வந்தவருக்கு கவர்மெண்ட்டுடைய டாக்ஸேஷன் இன்கம் இந்த அளவு இல்லை. அதாவது என்ன சொல்றது, 1 time 2 time 3 timesலாம் இல்லை, இன்கம் மோர் தேன் 20 times இன்கம் வந்துருச்சு கவர்மெண்ட்டுக்கு. ஜிஎஸ்டி வந்தவருக்கு தான் கவர்மெண்ட்டுடைய டாக்ஸ் இன்கம் இன்க்ரீஸ் ஆயிருக்கு. ஜிஎஸ்டி வந்ததில் என்ன இன்னொருனா, எல்லாமே ஆன்லைன் சிஸ்டம். ஜிஎஸ்டி பிஃபோர் வந்து தமிழ்நாட்டில் வேட் இருந்துச்சு, வேல்யூ ஆடட் டேக்ஸ் இருந்துச்சு. அது ஆன்லைன் இருந்துச்சு, மேனுவல் இருந்துச்சு. அதனுடைய எந்த ஒரு மிஸ்டேக்குமே ஈஸியாக ஃபைண்ட் அவுட் பண்ண முடியாது. ஆனால் இப்போ ஜிஎஸ்டி வந்தவருக்கு ஆன்லைன் சிஸ்டம் வந்துருச்சு. ஆன்லைனில் என்ன இருக்க போகுது? ஜிஎஸ்டி ஃபைல் பண்ணுறது ஆன்லைனில் தான் பண்ண முடியும், ஆஃப்லைனில் பண்ண முடியாது. ஜிஎஸ்டி வந்தப்போ பார்த்தீங்கன்னா ரொம்ப சிம்பிளாக இருந்துச்சு. ஜிஎஸ்டி யார் அப்ளை பண்ணாலும் கிடைக்கிற மாதிரி ரொம்ப சிம்பிள் பண்ணிகிட்டே இருந்தாங்க. இன்றைக்கி ஜிஎஸ்டியுடைய லெவல் எப்படி தெரியுமா? ஈஸியாக ஜிஎஸ்டி யார் எடுக்க முடியாது. யார் 100% கரெக்டான அவன் கேட்குற டாக்குமெண்ட் இருந்தால் மட்டும்தான் ஜிஎஸ்டி எடுக்க முடியும், இல்லைன்னா ஜிஎஸ்டி எடுக்க முடியாது. அது இல்லாமல் ஜிஎஸ்டி எடுக்கிறப்ப அந்த இடத்துல ஃபோட்டோ வைக்கணும், ஓனர் நிற்கணும், ஃபோட்டோ எடுத்து அனுப்பணும், வெல்கம் லெட்டர் வரணும், இபி பில்லு, ஹவுஸ் டேக்ஸ் எல்லாமே மேட்ச் ஆகணும். ஒரு எக்ஸாம் சாதாரண ஒரு சின்ன விஷயம், இபி பில்லில் ஒரு பேர் இருக்குது ஜிஎஸ்டியில், அதே ஹவுஸ் டேக்ஸ்லேயும் சேம் நேம் தான் இருக்கணும். சரி, நேம் மட்டும் சேம் பத்தாது, அட்ரஸு சேமாக இருக்கணும். அட்ரஸ் சேமாக இருக்க பார்த்தா கூட டோர் நம்பர் சேமாக இருக்கணும். இந்த 2 மேட்ச் ஆனதான் இன்னைக்கு ஜிஎஸ்டி எடுக்க முடியும். ஆனால் அன்னைக்கு 2017 ஜிஎஸ்டி ஈஸியாக எடுத்துட்டோம். இப்போ ஜிஎஸ்டி உடைய வளர்ச்சி பயங்கரமாக வந்துருச்சு. ஒரு எக்ஸாம்பிளுக்கு என்ன சொல்லலாம்னா, அன்னைக்கு வந்து ஜிஎஸ்டி ஈஸியாக ஃபைல் பண்ணால் போதுங்க நிலமை போய் இன்னைக்கு ஜிஎஸ்டி எப்படி வந்துருச்சு தெரியுமா? இன்னைக்கு டேட்டில் ஜிஎஸ்டி எப்படி இருக்குது தெரியுமா? ஒரு ஜிஎஸ்டிஆர் 1 எடுத்து பார்த்துட்டிங்கன்னா சேல்ஸ் மட்டும் நம்ம டிக்ளேர் பண்ணிட்டு இருந்தோம். இப்போ ஜிஎஸ்டியில் வந்து 2 வந்துருச்சு. இப்போ 2.0 ஜிஎஸ்டி வந்துருச்சு. செப்டம்பர் 1 இருந்து ஜிஎஸ்டி என்ன ஆகிப்போச்சு? 2.0ன்னு சொல்லி நிறைய அப்டேட் பண்ணிட்டாங்க செப்டம்பர்லேருந்து. இந்த செப்டம்பர்லேருந்து ஜிஎஸ்டியோடைய ரூல் எப்படி வந்துருச்சு தெரியுமா? நிறைய சொல்லணும்னா 2 சேஞ்சஸ் இருக்குது ஜிஎஸ்டியில். பழைய ஜிஎஸ்டியில் 5, 12, 18, 28 செஸ்ஸு 45% வரைக்கும் வந்துருந்துச்சு. இப்போ நியூ ஜிஎஸ்டியில் 5, 18 மட்டும் தான் இருக்குது, 12, 28 இல்லை. செஸ் இருக்குது. செஸ்ஸும் உங்களுக்கு 17லேருந்து 15 ஆக்கிட்டாங்க. இந்த பர்சன்டேஜை மட்டும் மாற்றலை. நிறைய பேருக்கு தெரியும் ஜிஎஸ்டி வந்து நினைக்கிறீங்க, பேப்பரில் வர்ற நியூஸ் வந்து முழுசாக நம்பாதீங்க. ஜிஎஸ்டி வந்து பேப்பரில் வர்றதை யாரோ ஒருத்தர் கேட்டு சொல்கிறது. ஜிஎஸ்டியை பற்றி முழுசாக தெரியணும்னா ஒன்று ஆஃபீஸர்கிட்ட கேட்கணும், இல்லைன்னா ப்ராக்டிஸ் பண்ணுற ஆடிட்டர்கிட்ட கேட்கணும். உள்ளே என்ன இருக்குது உங்களுக்கு தெரியுமா? இன்னும் ஜிஎஸ்டி டோல் இல்லை, நானும் சொல்லிட்டேன். ஜிஎஸ்டி டோல் இன்னும் இருக்கு. சிஸ்டத்தில் போய் பர்சன்டேஜை செலக்ட் பண்ணால் டோல் வரும். அதனால நிறைய அப்டேட் ஆயிடுச்சு ஜிஎஸ்டி. மந்த்லி ஒரு நோட்டிஃபிகேஷன் வந்துகிட்டே இருக்கு ஜிஎஸ்டியில். அதில் வந்து இந்த சேஞ்சஸ் மட்டும் இல்லை, முன்னாடி ஜிஎஸ்டியில் சேல்ஸ் மட்டும் டிக்ளேர் பண்ணால் போதும். இன்னைக்கு என்ன தெரியுமா வந்துருச்சு? சேல்ஸ் மட்டும் இல்லை, பில் நம்பர் டிக்ளேர் பண்ணணும். பில் நம்பர்னு என்ன? நீங்கள் சேல்ஸ் பண்ணுற ஒவ்வொரு பில்லு கொடுத்துருப்பீங்க. இப்போ ஒரு மாதத்துக்கு ஒரு 100 பில்லு விற்றுருக்கீங்கன்னா 101 பில்லுலேருந்து 200 பில் விற்றுருக்கீங்கன்னா என்ன எழுதணும்? இங்கே ஃப்ரம் 101 எண்டு 200ன்னு எழுதணும், பில் என்ட்ரி போடணும். நீ அடுத்த மாதம் மாற்றி ஃப்ரம் 2 மாற்றி போட்டேன்னா முடிஞ்சிச்சு, நோட்டீஸ் வந்துடும். நோட்டீஸ் நிறைய வர்றதுக்கு காரணம் என்னென்னா, ஜிஎஸ்டியை பற்றி ரூலை பற்றி தெரியாமல் ஃபைல் பண்ணுறது, தெரியாமல் அக்கௌண்ட்ஸை மெயின்டைன் பண்ணுறது. எப்படி மெயின்டைன் பண்ணுறதுனே தெரியறதில்ல. இப்போ ஜிஎஸ்டி வந்து அப்போ ஜிஎஸ்டி உடைய ஒரு எக்ஸாம்பிளுக்கு 50% சரியாக இருந்த ஃபாலோ பண்ணி மிஸ்டேக் இல்லாமல் பண்ணது இப்போ 75% சரியாக ஜிஎஸ்டி கொண்டு வந்துட்டாங்க. இன்றைக்கி நீ ஜிஎஸ்டி ஃபைல் பண்ணால் கரெக்டாக இருந்தால் உனக்கு நோட்டீஸ் வராது, தப்பாக இருந்தால் நோட்டீஸ் வர்றதுக்கான வாய்ப்பு 75%. முன்னாடி வந்து நோட்டீஸ் வர்றதுக்கு 20% தான் வாய்ப்பு. ஒரு 10 பேர் ஜிஎஸ்டி ஃபைல் பண்ணானா ஒரு 2 பேர் 3 பேருக்கு நோட்டீஸ் வரலாம். இன்றைக்கி 10 பேர் ஃபைல் பண்ணால் 7 பேருக்கு நோட்டீஸ் வரும். காரணம் என்னென்னா நிறைய அப்டேட் பண்ணிட்டாங்க. ஜிஎஸ்டி ரூலை படிக்கிறது இல்லை, நிறையா அப்டேட் ஆயிடுச்சு. ஜிஎஸ்டி மட்டும் மந்த்லி அப்டேட் நிறையா ஆயிடும். இன்கம் டேக்ஸ் இயர்லி சேஞ்சஸ் இருக்கும், ஆனால் ஜிஎஸ்டி வந்து மந்த்லி அப்டேட் இருக்கும். அப்போ 2.0 இல்லை அப்படி ஜிஎஸ்டியில் நிறைய சேஞ்சஸ் வந்துருச்சு. அப்போ ஜிஎஸ்டியுடைய வளர்ச்சி என்ன தெரியுமா? 24 lakh இயர்லி இன்கம் கவர்மெண்ட்டுக்கு வர்றதுனால தான் இந்தியாவுடைய எக்கனாமி சீக்கிரமாக வளர்ந்துருச்சு. இப்போ ஜிஎஸ்டி கரெக்டாக ஃபைல் பண்ணால் இன்கம் டேக்ஸ் இருக்கும். இப்போ இன்னொரு நியூ ரூல் என்ன தெரியுமா? இப்போ நோட்டீஸ் நிறையா வந்துட்டு இருக்கிறத சொல்கிறேன். நியூ ரூல் என்ன வந்துருச்சு அப்படின்னா, நீ ஜிஎஸ்டியில் ஒரு டேர்ன் ஓவரும் இன்கம் டேக்ஸில் ஒரு டேர்ன் ஓவரும் காமிக்க முடியாது. சரி, இதை மேட்ச் பண்ணிட்டாங்க எல்லாரும். ஜிஎஸ்டியில் என்ன டேர்ன் ஓவரோ அது இன்கம் டேக்ஸில். இப்போ என்ன செஞ்சுருக்காங்க தெரியுமா? ஜிஎஸ்டி இன்கம் டேக்ஸ் ரெண்டுலேயுமே பேங்க் அக்கௌண்ட்டை எடுத்துடுறாங்க. நீ பேங்க்கில் 1 கோடி டேர்ன் ஓவர், ஜிஎஸ்டியில் 60 லட்சம் தான் காமிச்சிருக்க, 40 லட்சம் காமிக்கல, நோட்டீஸ் போட்டுறேன். இப்போ ஜிஎஸ்டி எடுத்து நோட்டீஸ் போட்டுட்டு இருக்கப்ப இப்போ இன்கம் டேக்ஸ் எடுத்து நோட்டீஸ் போடுறாங்க. பேங்க்கில் நீ 1 கோடி நீ டிரான்சாக்ஷன் பண்ணியிருக்க, ஆனால் இன்கம் டேக்ஸில் நீ காமிச்சது 60 lakh தான். அப்போ 40 lakhs என்ன ரீசன்? நோட்டீஸ் கொடுத்துறேன். அப்போ பேன் ஆதார் லிங்க் பண்ணியாச்சு. இனி நீ எனி டிரான்சாக்ஷன், ஸோ கிரெடிட் கார்டு கூட வந்துடும் தெரியுமா? உங்களுக்கு நீ கிரெடிட் கார்டில் நீ செலவழிக்கிற காசு கூட எங்கே வந்துடும்? இன்கம் டேக்ஸ் டிபார்ட்மெண்ட்டுக்கு போயிடும். ஏஐஎஸ் அப்படின்னு சொல்லி இன்கம் டேக்ஸில் ஒன்று இருக்குது. அதில் போய் ஓப்பன் பண்ணி பார்த்தீங்கன்னா உன் எஸ்பிஐ அக்கௌண்ட்டில் எவ்வளோ இன்ட்ரெஸ்ட் இருக்குது, கிரெடிட் கார்டு எவ்வளோ செலவழிச்சா, இபி பில்லு கேட்டால், ஃபாரின் போனையா, எல்லா டீட்டெயிலும் வந்துடும். அப்போ ஜிஎஸ்டி இஸ் எ பேஸ். ஜிஎஸ்டி தான் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் டேக்ஸ். அதாவது எப்படின்னா ஜிஎஸ்டி கரெக்ட்னா எல்லாமே கரெக்ட் ஆயிரும். ஏன்னா ஜிஎஸ்டி பேஸ் பண்ணால் இன்கம் டேக்ஸ் ஃபைல் பண்ணும். அப்போ ஜிஎஸ்டி இந்தியனுடைய எக்கனாமியில் நம்பர் 1. ஜிஎஸ்டி வந்தவருக்கு தான் இந்தியாவுடைய எக்கனாமியே வளர்ந்துருக்கு. இன் ஃபியூச்சர் ஜிஎஸ்டி இன்னும் வளரும். ஏன்னா இப்போ வந்து இந்த ஒரு 100 ரூபா வந்து வருமானம் வருதுன்னா 50 ரூபா காமிச்சு கணக்கு காமிக்கிற காலம்லாம் மாறி போயிடுச்சு. இனிமேல் நீ வாங்குறத ஃபுல்லாக காமிச்சின்னா தப்பிச்சுக்குவ. நீ மறைக்கணும்னு நினச்சின்னா ஒன்றே அறியாமல் ஒரு நாள் மாட்டேன்னு வச்சுக்க, குரோரில் கட்டணும். கோடிக்கணக்கில் இன்ட்ரெஸ்ட்டு, பெனால்ட்டி, ஃபைன் சொல்லி வெளியே இன்ட்ரெஸ்ட் வேணாலும் என்ன செஞ்சலாம், 1 வட்டி 2 வட்டி வாங்கிக்கலாம். ஆனால் இவங்க போகிறதெல்லாம் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா 4 வட்டி 5 வட்டி வரும். அவ்வளோ பெனால்ட்டி இன்ட்ரெஸ்ட் வந்துடும், தப்பிக்கவே முடியாது. ஏன்னா ஆன்லைன், நீ வந்து ஆஃப்லைன் நோட்டீஸ்லாம் இல்லை, ஆன்லைன் நோட்டீஸ் வந்துடும். அப்போ ஜிஎஸ்டி உடைய வேல்யூ கூட இப்போ நீங்கள் நிறைய ஸ்டூடெண்ட் இருக்கிறனால வந்து நிறைய எம்ப்ளாய்மெண்ட் ஆப்பர்ச்சுனிட்டி ஜிஎஸ்டியில் உண்டு. வேலைக்கு போகிறதுக்கு ஜிஎஸ்டி ஃபைல் பண்ணால் நல்ல இன்கம் கிடைக்கும். ஒரு 20 கிளைண்ட் மட்டும் ரெடி பண்ணிட்டேன்னா உனக்கு மாதம் 50,000 கிடைக்கும். அதுக்கு வந்து நேர்மையான வழியில் நீ போகணும். நீ வாட்டுக்கு வந்து என்ன செய்யக்கூடாது, யாரோ ஒரு ஆடிட்டர் ஒரு 6 மாதம் இருந்துட்டு நான் ஜிஎஸ்டி ஃபைல் பண்ணுறேன்னு போயிடாத. அப்படி நீ போனேன்னா நீ போலி ஆடிட்டர். ஜிஎஸ்டி நீ அது கோர்ஸ் படிக்கணும், ஆடிட்டர் கோர்ஸ் படிக்கணும். சார் அதெல்லாம் நீங்கள் 5 years 10 years ஆகுது அப்படின்னா ஜிஎஸ்டி ப்ராக்டிஸ்னர் ஒரு எக்ஸாம் நடத்துகிறாங்க சென்ட்ரல் கவர்மெண்ட்டு. அந்த எக்ஸாம் எழுதி சர்டிஃபிகேட்டை வாங்கிட்டேன்னா நீ ஜிஎஸ்டியை மட்டும் ஃபைல் பண்ணிக்கலாம். அப்போ எதுக்கு எல்லாத்துக்கும் ரூல் இருக்குது, எல்லாத்துக்கும் ஆடிட்டர்னு இல்லாத இன்கம் டேக்ஸுக்கு நான் ஃபைல் பண்ணணும்னா ஐடிபின்னு ஒரு எக்ஸாம் இருக்குது. ஐடிபி எக்ஸாம் எழுதி பாஸ் பண்ணால் ஐடிபி வாங்கிக்கலாம். இந்த மாதிரி நிறையா வந்து காமர்ஸில், இந்த ஆடிட்டிங்கில், அக்கௌண்ட்ஸில், ஃபினான்ஸ் மேனேஜ்மெண்ட்டில் நிறைய ஆப்பர்ச்சுனிட்டிஸ் இருக்குது. அதனால் நீ வந்து இதை யூஸ் பண்ணிட்டுனா ஸ்டூடெண்ட் உங்களுக்கு வந்து நல்லா பெனிஃபிட் இருக்கும். எக்கனாமிக்ஸை பொறுத்தளவு ஜிஎஸ்டி தான் நம்பர் 1. இன்கம் டேக்ஸ்னால ஒரு நாடு வளர்ச்சி அடைய வாய்ப்பு இல்லை. எப்போயுமே இன்டைரக்ட் டேக்ஸில் தான் வளர்ச்சி அடைய முடியும். அதுலேயும் பர்டிகுலராக ஜிஎஸ்டி தான் இந்தியாவுடைய வளர்ச்சியுடைய மெயின் பங்கு. எனக்கு தெரிஞ்சு இன் ஃபியூச்சர் அதிகபட்சம் நிறைய பேர் இந்த விக்ஸ் 247 சொல்கிறாங்க, 230 சொல்லிட்டு இருக்காங்க. என்னை பொறுத்தளவு 230 அதிகம். 5 years இந்தியாவுடைய பொருளாதாரம் 1 or 2க்கு வந்துடும். ஏன்னா ஜிஎஸ்டியுடைய இன்னைக்கு இருக்கிற ஸ்டேஜ் ப்ரொஜெக்டட் பண்ணி பார்த்தா இந்தியாவுடைய பொருளாதாரம் சீக்கிரமாக ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஆர் செகண்டுக்கு வந்துடுறதுக்கு வாய்ப்பு வந்து ஜிஎஸ்டி மூலம் இருக்குது. ஜிஎஸ்டியுடைய இந்த செமினார்லாம் ஃபுல் டே நடத்தணும் சார். ஏதாவது என்ன சொல்கிறது, எனக்குலாம் வந்து ஏன்னா எனக்கு வந்து 500 கிளைண்ட் உங்களை வச்சுருக்கேன். எல்லா என்கிட்ட இருக்குது, எல்லா பெரிய ஆள் கிளைண்ட் என்கிட்ட இருக்குது. அது வெளியில் சொல்லக்கூடாது, கிளைண்ட் விஷயத்தை வெளியவே சொல்லக்கூடாது. அதனால் நிறைய எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸ் இருக்கிறதால நிறையா சொன்னோம்னா ஜிஎஸ்டியை பற்றி நிறைய இடத்துல அதுக்கு வந்து ஒரு ப்ரொஜெக்டட் வச்சு ஜிஎஸ்டி என்ன அப்படிங்கிற ஒரு லைவ் பண்ணால் ஸ்டூடெண்ட் நிறையா யூஸ் ஆகிருக்கும். உங்களுக்கு அதை பற்றி ஒரு ஐடியா கிடைக்கணும். நீ வந்து வேலைக்கு போக வேணாம், நீ ஒரு பிஸ்னஸ் பண்ணினா என்ன பண்ணணும்னு தெரிஞ்சுக்கலாம். மெயின் அப்படி தான் பிளான் பண்ணணும். வேலைக்கு போகிறதா செகண்ட் தாட். நீ ஒரு தொழில் பண்ணுற உன் அக்கௌண்ட்ஸை நீ ஒழுங்காக கவனிக்கணும், அதான் முக்கியம். நீ எல்லா பிஸ்னஸ்மேன் செய்கிற தவறுகள், நிறையா தவறுகள் என்னென்னா, பிஸ்னஸ் நல்லா பண்ணிடுறாங்க, பட் என்ன மைனஸ் ஆயிடுது, அக்கௌண்ட்ஸ் மைனஸ் ஆயிடுது, ஆடிட்டிங் மைனஸ் ஆயிடுது, டாக்ஸேஷன் மைனஸ் ஆயிடுது. நிறைய பேர் அக்கௌண்ட்ஸ் வேறு, ஆடிட்டிங் வேறு, டாக்ஸேஷன் வேறு, ஃபினான்ஷியல் மேனேஜ்மெண்ட் வேறு, காஸ்டிங் வேறு, எல்லாம் இருந்தால் தான் ஒரு பிஸ்னஸ் மேன் பண்ண முடியும். அதனால் டைம் ரொம்ப கம்மியாக இருக்கனால சார் 10 minutes தான் சொன்னார், நான் கூட பேசிட்டேன். தேங்க்யூ ஸோ மச்.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your insightful speech. Now it's time to honor our resource person. I may request Dr. Sivarajan, advisor, financial advisor, to present, to honor the resource person with shawl, and I invite Dr. P. Ravichandran, seminar director, to present the memento. It's time to distribute the certificates.
ஓகே அம்மா, நான் சொல்ல நீ வாங்கி கொடுத்துருமா, அங்கே சார் கிட்ட கொடுத்துருமா. We are very happy to announce that delegates as well as scholars and students from various colleges, they have participated and benefited, and they have presented a research paper in the conference. I have mentioned the colleges. Those who have participated in this conference is St. Anthony's College, Anjao College, RL Institute of Management, Tyagaraja College, Nilakoti Government Arts College, PSNA College, VOC College, and PSHG Arts College. Thank you for your participation. Now the certificate distribution. First, the delegates from INRR Janaki Amal College, Madan Kumar, Gayatri, Rama, Balamurugan, Karthik, and anyone of you come and collect the certificate from your college, INRR Janaki Amal College. Otherwise, all of you come fast. The delegates from RL Institute of Management, all of you come fast. Stay there. RL Institute, stay there. Delegates from RL Institute of Management Studies, collect your certificate. Ma'am, முன்னாடி இருக்கும். முன்னாடி இருக்கு பாருங்க. RL Institute of Management. Get your certificate and go down for photo shoot. Get your certificate and go down for your photo shoot. Next college, Tyagaraja College, Madurai. Nagapriya, Assistant Professor, Department of Business Administration, Tyagaraja College, Madurai. Is he present there? Okay. Next, students from PSNA College of Engineering and Technology. Students from PSNA College of Engineering and Technology. Students from G.T.N Arts College, 3rd MBA students. Saint Anthony's. Saint Anthony's College. Students from Saint Anthony College. மொத்தமாக யார்ட்டையா ஒருத்தவங்க கொடுத்துருங்க. தேன்மொழி Saint Anthony's College. தேன்மொழி RLMS. MBA ஆமாம். MBA தரலான்னா யோகிதா மேம். அவங்களுக்கு பெஸ்ட் பேப்பர். MBA யோகிதா மேம் MBA. யோகிதா சண்முகப்பிரியா. யோகிதா சண்முகப்பிரியா. இந்த பொண்ணு நல்லா பண்ணுச்சு. அவ்வளோதான் மேம். ஓம் துபைக்கு வேணா கொடுங்க. அடுத்து நம்ம காலேஜ் ஓகே சார். இந்த எழுதிட்டு இருக்காங்க. ஆண்டனிஸ் காலேஜ் தேன்மொழி மேம். பெஸ்ட் பேப்பர் அவார்ட் ஃபார் தேன்மொழி மேம், அசிஸ்டன்ட் ப்ரொஃபஸர், செயின்ட் ஆண்டனிஸ் காலேஜ். Best paper award, the award goes to the two scholars, Nivas as well as Senbaga Guru, RLIMS. Vama. Nivas and Senbaga Guru. Best paper award, Om Dubey from MBA. வேற யார்ட்டையாவது கொடுங்க. Balamurugan from Anja College. Best paper award goes to Balamurugan from Anja College. He had presented for the first time and he had presented very well, so this award is going to him. Balamurugan. Oral Institute கொடுத்தாச்சு சார் கொடுத்தாச்சு ரெண்டுமே கொடுத்தாச்சுப்பா அந்த பாயிண்டர் இருக்கும் ஃபோட்டோ எடுத்துங்க ரெண்டுமே கொடுத்தாச்சு ரெண்டுமே அந்த பாயிண்டர் இருக்கும் வாங்கி ஆமாம் ஓம் துபே அஞ்சா காலேஜ் கொடுத்தாச்சு மேம் பெஸ்ட் பேப்பர் அவார்ட் கோஸ் டு யோகிதா அண்ட் சண்முக பிரியா ஃப்ரம் G.T.N Arts College. இல்லைம்மா அங்கே இருக்கும் நீங்கள் போய் வாங்கிக்கோங்க கொடுத்தாச்சு பாலமுருகன் போயிடுச்சுன்னு நினைக்கிறேன் அந்த பையன் பாலமுருகன் ரெண்டு பேருப்பா ரெண்டு சர்டிஃபிகேட் வச்சு கொடுத்தேன் அவன் வாங்கிட்டு போயிட்டான்னு நினைக்கிறேன் அவன்கிட்ட இருக்கும் ரெண்டுமே வச்சு தான் கொடுத்தேன் அதில் இருக்கு பாலமுருகன் கலெக்ட் பண்ணிக்குவோம் Karupasamy from 2nd M.Com. Karupasamy from 2nd M.Com G.T.N Arts College. இருக்கியா இல்லை யாராவது 2nd M.Com-லேருந்து வந்து இந்த சர்டிஃபிகேட்ஸ் கலெக்ட் பண்ணிக்கோ யாராவது ஒருத்தவங்க வா G.T.N Arts College. ஓகே MBA-லேருந்து ஓம் துபே வந்து உங்கள் சர்டிஃபிகேட் கலெக்ட் பண்ணிக்கோ 2nd M.Com மேம் 2nd M.Com மொத்தமாக இருக்குது அங்கே போயிடுங்க நீ போறியா இல்லை உங்கள் சர்டிஃபிகேட் ப்ரெசன்டேஷன் சர்டிஃபிகேட் ரெண்டு பேர் அங்கே போயிடுங்க நான் தரேன் இல்லை இருங்க அவங்க வாங்கிடட்டும் போமா போங்க அங்கே போயிருங்க நான் சார்ட்ட தருவாங்க சார் MBA போமா போமா ஓகே தேங்க்யூ அவ்வளோதான் எங்களுக்கு அப்புறம் வாங்கிக்கலாம் ஏதாவது ஒரு சர்டிஃபிகேட் வேணால் கொடுத்து வாங்கிக்கலாம் வாங்க எல்லாரும் வாங்க சர்டிஃபிகேட் இருந்தால் அப்படியே கையில் சர்டிஃபிகேட் இருக்கா மேம்
சரி நம்ம வாங்கிட்டு அப்படியே கொடுத்துக்கலாம் வர சொல்லுங்க
Dear organizing members, please come forward to take the photos with the dignitaries. Please come.
Ma'am, 1 second.
Organizing members, முன்னாடி வாங்க. எல்லாரும் வாங்க. வாங்க.
So I just take 2 minutes of all your time to deliver the vote of thanks. So gratitude is a currency we can mint ourselves and spend without fear of bankruptcy. With this quote, respected dignitaries on the dais, distinguished speakers, esteemed faculty members, research scholars, and dear students. On behalf of organizing committee, I extend my sincere vote of thanks on today's one-day national seminar on GST reforms and inclusive sectoral transformation, pathways to Viksit Bharat at 2047, a great success. First and foremost, I express my sincere gratitude to the ICSSR Southern Region Center for their support to organize this one-day seminar at G.T.N Arts College. I extend my respectful thanks to our secretary, director, principal, academic director, vice principals, advisors for this constant encouragement and valuable guidance. My sincere appreciation goes to our keynote speaker, Mr. G. Venkatasubramanian, Assistant Commissioner of CGST of Central Excise, for delivering an insightful keynote address. I also extend my heartfelt thanks to the distinguished resource person, Dr. S. Theendayalan, Dr. R. Gowtham R, and Dr. Kappa Kondal for sharing their valuable knowledge and enriching the technical sessions. Next, I would like to thank CMA D Kalaichelvan, Director, the Institute of Cost Accountant of India, Dindigul chapter, for delivering an insightful validity address. Thank you, sir. My special thanks to the seminar director, Dr. P. Ravichandran, and the entire organizing committee members for their dedicated effort in planning and organizing this seminar successfully. I also thank all the faculty members who are coming from other institutions and our own beloved institutions, research scholars and students who presented paper and actively participated in today's sessions. Finally, I extend my sincere thanks to all the technical team, student volunteers, and everyone who worked behind the scene for their support and cooperation. Once again, I thank each and every one of you for your valuable contribution and your presence. Thank you one and all for this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Every meaningful gathering plants seeds of new ideas. With this, we come to an end of today's seminar. We thank all the dignitaries, speakers, and participants for making this event successful. Let us all stand for National Anthem.
Jai
Thanks, Rama.